I'm here.
And Ron, you can
Watching
let
some
yourself in now.
Marfugal. No, Ron.
And hey, Adam, we're trying to get Ron on the line right now.
Well, actually, this is a great time. If you are a police officer and you are watching, if you are willing to do an interview or if you're courageous enough to do one, I know that a lot of police departments around the country are changing right now. Make sure to get a hold of me on Twitter. Hi, Ron. How are you?
I am well, Adam. How are you, brother?
Good. So this is your first call. It says you're a 12-year retired Army veteran, Special Forces. Is that right?
Well, I had 18 years, 10 months, and 22 days, but nobody was counting.
So from that, I'm sure you probably have learned a thing or two about what goes on there. What do you think is going on right now?
Well,
What's going on?
I called for one reason, and while I was sitting here listening to the show,
I have no idea what he's
the
talking
Holy
about. I just
Spirit reminded
came in here
me
in the
of
middle.
Another thing you was talking about was the
Because of Ninja Geenies.
technology.
Technology.
I'd like to take everybody through a little story I have that happened to me in 1991 in the Gulf War.
Okay, go ahead.
And that is the deal. I had been on top of a mountain in March of 1991, on the end of March, for 3 days, and I get a call that they're flying in a twirly bird, 5 individuals, and they got a load on the swing. And then I'm told I need to clear a 10 by 15 area on top of this mountain because the load's got to settle down. So, doing my job, we done that. About daylight, we was getting everything unpacked. I wasn't very happy because I'd been on this mountain for 3 days and nobody knew I was there. Me and my team.
Shit's wild.
Well, that night they flew in a Chinook. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, so a dual propeller helicopter.
The big one.
Yeah.
I mean, it rattles the earth. Now, see, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. And then they fly this bird in at 200 hours in the morning, waking up the God, the dead, and everybody. So I'm not a camper. You understand what I'm saying?
That Chinook looks pretty cool.
If you can repeat it one more time.
They ended this. We get it all opened up. How many of your listeners ever seen the video in 1991 with 80 individuals surrendering to 2 people in a Humvee? I can tell you how that happened. They hit them with frequency. They hit them with words.
With what?
They was able to speak to them individuals through these devices. They landed on that mountain that night.
They spoke to them through devices.
And I had never seen nothing like it.
Huh.
I had never seen nothing like it. Them 80 men laid their weapons down and surrendered to 2 GIs in a Humvee that was lost.
So you're saying, just to get you here, Ron, there was something strapped to a Humvee that was an audio device that made 80 men surrender to 2.
The device was up on the mountain with me.
Okay.
And they were shooting this device down at, well, I'm not going to go into that because I have to be careful. They were shooting the device down at the enemy from my position on top of a mountain. This Humvee come out of, I don't know where the hell it come from. They were lost. They were screwed up like a soup sandwich. And they pull up, and these guys pop out of all these berms and lay all their weapons down and surrender to 2 individuals. I seen that with my own eyes. But that's not why I called.
But can
that
I just
goes along with what you were
that-
talking about earlier.
No, thank you for telling us that extra story. Can I just clarify too that the machine that was going down at him, whatever it was, an audio frequency, that was facing down there, it ended up did it drive him crazy? Do you think it was active denial system, like it was burning their skin, or do you think it was an audio thing where it spoke to them?
No, it spoke to him. It spoke to him.
I believe you.
It told him Allah commanded them to lay their weapons down and surrender.
See, I have heard.
I know what was said. I stood 4 foot from the individual that said the words.
Wow, that's incredible. Again, that was 1991.
That's pretty wild.
And now we're seeing the technology that proves that technology is real. That's pretty
The
crazy.
American people have no earthly idea what's fixed to be unleashed on them.
Well, I
The whole
believe you
world
there.
don't have a
Really?
clue.
Is that true?
So now
That's
go.
crazy if that's true.
What should we be paying attention to? That's what you said on your on the screener here. So that's what you said you wanted
Well,
to
the
talk
main
about.
reason I called, we got all these. How freely can I speak?
Just go ahead. Just say what you need to say.
Speak freely, sir. Tell us the truth.
I need to specify a couple things before I go much further. I'm a God-fearing man. My father was a Southern Baptist preacher. I don't believe in religion. But I know we have a creator, a holy creator, and I know we have
It's possible.
the Father,
Makes sense.
Son, and Holy Spirit. Because
I feel that. I feel like I need that. That's true.
I've had so many.
This guy's legit,
well,
dude. I think he's right about
I've
what he's
had
been talking
25
about.
near-death experiences.
25?
I had a car crush the whole left side of my head when I was 17.
Jesus.
And I
dude.
lifted the car off of me and come out from underneath it.
So he goes to tell his life story about telling
We're
about.
being played. I don't know how many people that listen to you, Adam, know that Obama in 2012 signed his pencil whip for propaganda to be used against the American people. And our alphabet soup agency groups are bad. They're bad. CIA is the biggest drug mover in the world. America needs to wake up. Because they're handing everything over to one country that I just don't have a warm fuzzy about. And 99% of the country don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. And that's Israel. Netanyahu, there's those that have called themselves Jews but are not. They are of the synagogue of Satan.
Synagogue of
And see, a
Satan, dude.
great
That's
thing
twice
about
today that shit came up.
technology, you can test
Wow.
people now to see if they're Jewish. Now, might want to look at that.
Well,
Guess who's controlling all our cloud security for Pentagon? Israel.
okay, well, so we're gonna get into it.
all our security
Now,
over
Ron,
a lot of other stuff.
we're gonna get into some stuff that is gonna divide our audience here. So if we can, if you do have a point of what we should be paying attention to, again, I want you to be able to do that. But
The
Live has
Belt
some
and
rules
Road
too.
Project. Look, Adam, look at the Belt and Road Project. It's Israel, Russia, China, and Iran. Look there. Just look there, brother. Just Look where I sit. Ain't gonna say no more. In fact, I'm gonna hang up, bro. Thank you very much.
Well, if you have some links for us, we can share them to the rest of our audience, Ron. All I was saying is that, you know, we gotta try to keep it as PG as possible. The Israel and the Jews and stuff, that kind of gets people fired up. Again, we still have to set an example here, so this is our guy. All right, let's get on to the next one. Appreciate you, Ron. And again, it was your first time call. Don't make it your last. Kelly2334. Shutterbug Kate, hopping tunes Adam. Drive it. Like you stole it. Says spring leather. Hey, thank you for the Ninja D. Thank you for driving up in that. ML y'all. I totally missed that. Gone Girl, much love, all gotta go. Oh, Gone Girl, I'm sorry that you have to go. I was going to do yeah, I'll play it for you. Ilea, voice to skull MK Ultra. Ilea, exactly. I mean, think about it. If what he is saying is true, in 1991, they told them. I've heard rumors about them talking about the technology for Project Bluebeam. You guys get what I mean? Project Bluebeam.
Bluebeam's a good time.
Is a set of satellites that would project an image, and all three of them would project an image. They could put anything in the sky. I heard a rumor, and I don't know if that was a myth. What was that from the peace name? Is during that same war that they made a bunch of different, I think they dropped hallucinogenic drugs on, or powder or something, on the enemy, and then they put a thing all off in the sky, and then sent it down to weapons. That sounds a whole lot like what he said, right? Have you guys heard of that story? I didn't know if it was a myth or what. But him saying that, you know, they put this audio to all of their ears, would it be a simpler version of what we just read about, as far as this technology that tracks your ears and puts the sound and beams it? How does this thing work? What I want to see is on the sound beaming system, how do they do a demonstration? You know, they say it's hard to put into words, but do they have the science behind it? How does it actually beam it to your head? And if voice-to-skull technology is going to come out as a like a consumer thing, what was it used for in military purposes? There's stuff that DARPA's using right now that the applications for civilian use won't come out for 20 years. So, do you think he's telling? I mean, I bet I do believe it. But again, I think they had technology back then that was incredible. So thank you, Ron, for that call. That's great one. And thank you for everybody thinking. Okay, let's see here. Next up, we have Red in the Valley. It says World Economic Forum predictions for 2030. All right, calling from Ontario, Canada. Let's get Red in the Valley on. And then Fernando's on deck, another first-time caller. Awesome.
Jordan sold 312.
Red in the Valley, you're live.
Hello. I do graphic design, so if you need any work done like a logo, banner,
Good.
headings,
What are we talking about
overlays,
today?
etc. DM me on Twitter at Jordan
First, I
Sold.
just want to make a disclaimer
give you a follow, buddy.
here for everybody. Here in Canada, we get certain news out of certain news sources, and first of all, just so everybody knows, the Liberal government paid out, and don't quote me, I don't know if it was this year or last year, $300 million to a certain news agency. So what I'm about to say, I don't know if these people fell underneath that or not. So just keep that in the back of your mind for now.
Okay.
Okay. So Rebel News is a news outlet up here in Canada that is not on TV, but you can find them on YouTube and their website, whatnot. All. And yesterday afternoon, they put out a video stating that this is some breaking news that was scrubbed apparently from the internet, from Twitter, and from the Canadian government website. And I took screenshots of the video because I know you probably can't play the video from Rebel News. So I took screenshots of the highlights of what this was.
Okay, let let me pull up this. I've got. So let's hold on here. How long do you have what do you call it? Do you have timestamps?
I came across this.
I told Dex on the phone what time it was at. I think it's around the 7-minute mark. I can't remember, to be honest with you, Adam. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So I'm going to ask you just to.
It's halfway through, near the end, is where it starts. But I took screenshots of it so that I could tell you what it said, because they actually play the video that apparently got scrubbed off of Twitter, and this is coming from the World Economic Forum. This was a tweet that they put out in 2016, 11/18. And what it says is 8 predictions for the world in 2030. The first slide that they show is picture number 1. It says, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And on the bottom of that, it says, based on the input of members of the World Economic Forum Global Future Councils. The second picture it shows is, whatever you want, you'll rent and it will be delivered by drone. Now, what have you talked about on this show multiple times about a certain company and airspace and them, them drones? Okay, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. The next one, it says, the U.S. The U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. Geez, I wonder where we've heard that before. The next one, it shows a whole bunch of flags, and it says a handful of countries will dominate. Next, it says you won't die waiting for an organ donor. It shows the next slide that we won't transplant organs, we'll print new ones instead with them 3D printers. The next, it says you'll eat much less meat. Next, it shows a picture of like, I guess somebody on a trail, like the woods and stuff like that. The sun's coming through. And it says, an occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and for our health. Next, it shows like the ground, and it's all cracked up and dried up, but 1 billion people will die displaced by climate change. Then it says, the next picture, we'll have to do a better job in welcoming and integrating refugees. Next, it shows a whole bunch of smokestacks. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. Now, this is one of the fallacies that drives me nuts, because this is wordplay. If we all know the difference between carbon dioxide, monoxide, like, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not no rocket scientist here, folks, but seriously, we need a certain something to breathe, and we exhale a certain something, and this just seems to be a little crazy, because here in Canada last year there were handing out these things in everyone's mailbox promoted by the Liberal government, $307 tax credit on carbon. That just drove everybody nuts, but crickets from the media about that. So the next thing it shows is there will be a global price on carbon, and it shows an oil, one of them pumping jacks or whatever you call it, the oil well. Are you there?
Yeah, we're all listening, and I'm watching. I did play without sound the slides. So you've kind of been going along with it. Sorry, do I keep going? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. And then it says you could be prepping to go to Mars, and scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space, and to start a journey to find alien life, ? Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances, where have we heard that before? That underpin our democracies must not be forgotten.
So
that's
this
it.
is
I just wanted to bring that to
2030.
everyone's attention, because that's nuts.
Yeah.
2030.
Get moving.
So by 2024, 2025, there's got to be something massive that changes everything. And the scariest part to me is the part where it says you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Because, so what if, here's the thing, when you're so scared of, something massive has to happen to where you are in such a bad place. How bad do you have to be off to then be happy that you own nothing, that you have access to something?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. One thing that scares me the most is how up here in particular, and I follow the states as much as I possibly can, considering, and I appreciate you guys, Red Pill, all these other small channels. I mean, that is where the news. You guys are where the news truly comes from. Because if not, we wouldn't hear about half of it. Because we all know the Mockingbird Project is like television. It's what it is. Talking points of the establishment. What terrifies me the most are these vaccinations. That there, we know from leaked videos from years ago of people, this one scientist, and everyone said it was DG himself, but it wasn't him. But somebody at the Pentagon talking about how they have been able to figure out this D thing to take away people's beliefs. And if they can take that for what they were trying to do in different countries over there, we're kidding ourselves if we think that they wouldn't dare try to do it on us here, for what they're trying to do. So, I mean, but that's just me. That's just the way my brain goes, is I always have to look at both sides. As much as we might support one person standing up there saying they're great, we always have to remember, you know, our sovereign rights as individuals, as people. And up here, we're getting chipped away like crazy. And my own mother said, well, I didn't hear it on CBC News or CBS News or whatever. I'm like, Mom, turn that garbage off. But no, they wouldn't lie. It's tough.
That's the thing. I don't get why people don't understand that there is a bigger thing here. This is. They act like the thing is most of us are taught to think, well, no, it's a huge company. One person would have to correct it, or this. It goes all the way. Every system is a pyramid, and there's one person at the top that everybody answers to. And if you want to get your next paycheck, you have to answer to the next, to the next, to the next. With everything that's going on in the current event, with our current, presidential stuff, is that everybody has to answer to the top, and nobody's going to be the one responsible for something bad and then lose their job, especially now with everything. Especially those in the know, they know that things are about to crumble. And especially since they know we're about to get hit with something,
We have failed. Return to
it's
base.
like how do they
love
know?
Marfugel.
You know, they're not going to be the ones to say, oh, they've done this, they've done that, they lied. I have a hard time convincing other people like this is all BS. It's all part of a plan, and nobody believes it. They think, oh, that's a conspiracy theory.
Well, they've had how many years to ram it down our throat to how perfect they are, and I mean, we're all guilty of it. We all got caught up in our own lives, and that was perfect. And then they slowly started in the late 90s, early 2000s, slowly chipping at this, chipping at that. In the meantime,
My shit paused. DLF paused.
And a long time ago, there was, back in the 40s or 30s, I forget exactly when you get into the military, with all them different projects that they did, they knew something was coming up, where people were going to start, like, snapping out of this fast. And they had to have measures in place. And that's where the new age movement of the Great Awakening, well, call it what you will, and I mean that's just marketing. That's all that's for, is to make money on it. Is as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not totally religious here, but I think it's the Christ within us. It's that feeling that, oh my God, it's your holy crap meter going off, and then you start to see it. You can see the difference between someone who is pure-hearted and someone who is not. You can walk down the street, say hello, and you can tell by the look on their face. But hey, that's just me.
Okay, well, doesn't it? Have
right,
you ever seen the
I'm getting
movie
that.
They Live?